In his recent Netflix special, Joe Coy went on a whole bit about like modern rap not being good. Now it was interesting because he started off talking about the way his father looked down on rap and called it hippity hop, and he was very proud of the fact that he was right, that it was good. And then he correctly notes that physically and mentally he's become his dad because he now looks down on the modern rap music, calling it the mumbly mumbly. And it's a pretty funny skit. It's well done. It's well observed. Of course, he's right. The reason that he doesn't like new rap is because he's old. It's not that the new rap isn't as good. Then he plays Hypnotized and the whole crowd goes wild like that's some kind of proof, when it's not just that everyone knows that song and everyone loves it. And he could have played the chicken dance and people would have gone just as crazy. But I learned about this from a friend of mine on Facebook. Okay, boomer alert. I have friends on Facebook. And he was sort of like, this is so funny and this is so true. And I sort of said, yeah, it is true. But what's true is that he's really old and that's why he doesn't like new rap music. So he asked me, give me the names of some new rappers. And I said, well, okay. I said, all right, well, he's from the West Coast. My friend's from the West Coast. So I gave him Schoolboy Q. I gave him Vince Staples. I'm like, if you like more of that kind of maybe Griselda stuff, and I sent some Makami, thinking, okay, that's evidence that hip-hop is still good, even if some of it is mumble mumble lifestyle. Rich Gang, that's the song that Joe Coy used as an example. But I hesitated. I thought, should I put Ski Mask the Slump God? Because I've often thought that he might be one of the great kind of transitional figures, someone who was a SoundCloud rapper, but who also has bars. Somebody who has humor, who has great tone, has a great voice, someone who I've always thought of as sort of like the king of the Similes, while also being very Old Dirty Bastard-esque. He is Osiris-ish, okay? I truly think so, okay? He is... Do I have any more? He's WrestleMania. I don't know what he is, but the point is, for old heads like myself, I sort of thought that he's a borderline case. But I said better not risk it, just in case he clicks on the wrong song and hears too much mumbling from someone else. And then I don't always watch Fantano's reviews. I watch a fair number of them. I think he's great. I think he does a great job. But he comes from a very different perspective than I do because he's been doing this for longer and because he has to give ratings. I only review things that I like. So if you see me rate it, that means I like it. But when I had a conversation with him a couple of years ago on a stream, which has yet to be uploaded someday, he mentioned that he only started doing ratings because he started comparing works by one artist to another. And I sort of get that problem. And what it made me realize is that when he's talking about, I think he gave it a 5. I think the reason that he did that, it's not that Ski Mask isn't great. It's just, is there growth? Is there growth from Stokely? Is there growth? Is there more structure than the kind of improvised king of simile fun stuff here? Maybe not. What that made me realize is that he's sort of a victim. He's kind of a victim of his generation. I think maybe if Ski Mask the Slump God were born a generation earlier, he would have found a way to get the producers, because let's go back to the Old Dirty Bastard example. Who is Old Dirty Bastard without the RZA? And don't you dare bring me the album that he did with Pharrell, because then who is Old Dirty Bastard without Pharrell? Part of what made Old Dirty Bastard so good is he found producers to focus his work and to bring out the best in him while sort of mitigating the worst. So, can we go with this Old Dirty Ski Mask idea? Is that okay with you? Death surrounds this person. His closest allies are both dead and have been dead for a long time. So maybe comparing him to Old Dirty Bastard makes sense. But what I want to do is I want to focus on what it is and what it isn't. I do not disagree with my esteemed colleague from Connecticut that this album shows a lack of growth and development. But I would like to add, so what? It's still an amazingly rapped, super catchy, singular voice in hip-hop. There is no one else who sounds like Ski Mask the Slump God. There's no one else who does what he does. Therefore, I believe we need to give it more attention and more praise. Thank you for auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor who, yes, owns the first Ski Mask album on CD. Okay? Now, you might look in my... So, this album came out 6 years ago. a little bit after I started the channel. Yet, I never reviewed it. It's because I missed it when it came out. And when we're talking about a victim of his generation, this album came out back when this channel was called Skye Sweaty Record Review. I'm working on a little bit of sweat right now here in the summer just to honor that heritage. I was recommended this album by one of my son's friends. He's in college now. He was in 8th grade when this came out. He might have been in 7th grade. I remember it was at a winter concert, and we were in the little the middle school cafeteria waiting to greet everybody and say good job. And he's like, "Hey, Mr. Pay, you should listen to Ski Mask the Slump God." So you want to talk about a victim of his generation? 6 years is too long. I know he put out some mixtapes and stuff, but for major projects, it's too long. He is kind of a victim of his generation because he's too old now. Too old to continue his training. He's 28 years old, okay? But SoundCloud rap that's popular with 7th graders and 8th graders is no country for old men. And again, all of his closest analogs are dead, XXX and Juice WRLD, which is why I think it's especially important to praise him and recognize him not as like a relic, but as someone who perseveres, someone who keeps going despite the loss. Someone who has not been taken out by drugs or by violence and just keeps doing what he did. Hey, going back to the Fantano point, I would kill to have XXXTentacion release a full-length album that's like what he did 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to celebrate life. So let me give you an example. An example song. Oh yeah, why do I own this CD, by the way? For one lyric. I'm high like a fucking ostrich, y'all. To me, I heard that. I'm as high as an ostrich. And I'd say it all the time, never underestimate people who can make you laugh. Bergson teaches us that laughter is a function of the mind. So funny people are always smart and smart people are always funny. Just how it works out. Okay, maybe smart people aren't always funny, but they always have a good sense of humor. Even if you don't agree with it. But it doesn't matter. That's too subjective. But I will say that the line, I'm flyer than an ostrich, is so funny because obviously ostriches don't fly. It's so extra. It's so far out of there that's where I think we need to really recognize him as the best simile man in the game. Please tell me in the comments what other rappers have better similes than Ski Mask the Slump God. Also, what rappers have better names than Ski Mask the Slump God. Going back to Old Dirty Bastard, I remember visceral shock the first time I heard the name Old Dirty Bastard. I was like, whoa, you can do that? You can name yourself that? What is a Slump God? What does it mean? I don't get it. Is he a Slump God or is he a Ski Mask? Is there like a group of slump gods? Is that a thing that people are and he is one of them? So, the song is Full Moon. That'll be my example song. I'll click up there if I remember to do that. And what I love is that this is everything about it. Okay, it's fine. Kind of swirling synths over trap beats. The beats are fine. Again, I would just love to have Ski Mask the Slump God find some kind of super producer to really just sit him down and make something like truly spectacular. But we don't have that. We have a bunch of producers here who are fine. This is good. But it's this mixture of rhymes and just saying, yo. Now, a lot of rappers are really good at just saying, yo, and having ad-libs. But the quality of his ad-libs is very high because yo is very funny. It actually goes back to one of the Joe Coy jokes about Biggie. He was such a good rapper, he could make breathing sound good. Oh, right? The same kind of thing. Like the Ski Mask is so good, he can make sound really awesome. Along with one of his catchphrases, which is water, which I like. I know he's probably talking about jewelry, but I like water. My whole life is like all I do is water. My wife always got to bring her water bottle. My baby always needs water at dinner. Poppy. That's how she asks for water. I'm constantly bringing her water. I'm constantly thinking about my own water bottle. Hydrate or dehydrate, I always say. So this song, that's my sponsorship, by the way, for this video. Water. Tap water. It's good enough. If you're lucky enough to live in... Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to have a real a promo thing here. If you live in a country with potable drinking water and you don't use it, you are in a state of moral failure. Okay? If you're lucky enough to have potable drinking water, drink it. All right. Tap water. Professor Skye approved. It's this way that he does this thing, this flurry of rhymes, and then the chorus is just, destroy what I touch, I'm like snake venom. They think I'm a villain, they bit, I'm gonna let them. Not talking about the snack, honey bun in my denim. We catch him, don't kill him, we turn him into adrenochrome. Just weird, bizarre rhymes, and then, yeah, yeah, ha ha ha, hey. These be so stupid, label never recoupin', it's a forever loop, that's why they out here recruitin'. I'm an animal whenever it comes to lootin', I'm a cannibal whenever it comes to youin'. Great, multisyllabic rhymes, fun flow, goes in, brrr, and that's his skill, that's his style, that's his flow. Let's praise that we get more Ski Mask the Slump God. I'm going to go through the rest of the album a little bit quicker. Too many songs. It's not that long of an album, which points to the correct observation by my esteemed colleague from Connecticut that there's like no song structure. There's no like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It's just like verse, and then the chorus is like and just goes back in. But maybe we don't need it. Opens up with a song called Dragon Tooth. Great name, by the way. Super swirling synths, very kind of modern sounding, kind of ragey. So many similes, leads up to this chorus, and then the song is over before it even starts. Leads into Monsters Incorporated, featuring Future. Okay, so this is the question of the video. Okay, first question, is there any rapper better with similes than Ski Mask the Slump God? At least in terms of humor, okay? 2, which one is Mike and which one is Sully? If we have Ski Mask and Future as Monsters Incorporated, which one is which? Weird kind of computer sounds, cool, like, I don't know, computer calculator sounds, if that makes sense. Future's great, just very kind of cool verse. And then Ski Mask comes on with like a different flow. He has actually a lot of different flows that if you don't pay attention, you might not notice it. He talks about getting in licks just like the Grinch. Later in the album, he'll compare himself to Santa Claus. In this album, in this song, he talks about Sega again. It's like 2 Sega references and 2 songs. Sorry, I don't edit my videos. I'm actually not sorry. Nerds. A lot of nerdy stuff. A lot of video game stuff. Some things I don't even get. By Myself is the next track. Futuristic swirling sounds. More water. These cards that I dealt myself. He makes reference to gout. It's been a big couple of years for gout in rap music. First Nas, now Ski Mask. He says he doesn't worry about wealth, which made me realize he doesn't actually rap that much about stuff on this album, which is interesting, you know? I mean, for this generation of rapper, normally you're rapping a lot about stuff. He is not. Earwax, cool far away sound. This is like a more serious song. This is like a little bit more of a structured song, which is nice. It makes a reference to Mortal Kombat. Big deal to me. I mention this sometimes, but I have not always been the New York Times quoted professor of French that you see before me. When I was a senior in high school, all I did was play Mortal Kombat 3. I'm not joking. I would go to Tommy's Pizza, I'd put down 50 cents, and I was so good, I would play on random, and I'd let you play your main, and I would beat you. Even if I got Shansung, I'd know all the morphs, and I'd beat you. I would not get kicked off that machine. I'd go and get a slice of pizza with the sesame seeds on the crust, which is how Tommy's Pizza did it, until it got shut down because everything cool in Harvard Square is gone. Yeah, so that's what I did. So anytime I hear a reference to Mortal Kombat, that little nerdy part of me gets excited. I did main as Jax, though. Ho, ho. I met him once at a video game convention. It was very exciting. It was very weird. Then we get to the Stamp, Full Moon, Part to See. The next track, great vibe, more crazy similes, like I'm at the top like a headache. It's nice. The block is going to spin like a fidget. Remember fidget spinners? Ski Mask does. And you probably do too, Ski Mask fan. Jaws interlude is just kind of a sad thing with XXX Tentacion. where he's like saying that you're the best friend I've ever had, and it's just really sad. It's really sad that he's lost. He had just such a great voice. He was a very creative guy. I understand that he was also realistically a domestic abuser, which is very not cool. Presumably, he could have gotten help for that and made some kind of restitution and gotten his life on track. You know what I mean? I mean, when people are stuck in cycles of abuse, we need to hold them accountable, but then also hope for rehabilitation. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a sentimental fool, but when these dudes get murdered and they're so young, how do you even know what they could have become? So, I don't know. He also sounds wicked high, which just makes me sad because it makes me realize if he wasn't shot at was he shot like buying rims? Or like buying a motorcycle, something motor related. If he wasn't shot, he might have died of a drug overdose like Juice. Who knows? Next song is called WDYM, which stands for Walt Disney Your Mom. It talks about can't feel my face, kind of a Coke lyric. I always hate Coke lyrics. Different style though, kind of West Coast wine, sort of ethereal. It's got kind of a nice vibe. I'm insane, you judge, but you the same. Baker act me and my fucking bay. Who's to blame? Baker act. Did we mention, by the way, that Ski Mask, the Slump God, is out of Florida? Can we stop making fun of Florida all the time? Okay? Florida's a very interesting and important place, especially when it comes to recently arrived people in America. There's a lot of great culture, a lot of great mixing of culture happening in Florida. It's not all just Kid Rock fans and Florida Georgia Line fans. Anyways. The Baker Act is a Florida Mental Health Act from 1971. Short-term, inpatient, voluntary, and involuntary examination. Meaning, if you're a Florida man, you get Baker acted. Okay, listen, I just said nice things about Florida, and now I'm using the term Florida man. Not cool, Skye, but I can't help it, okay? The term pops up. If you go wild, if you're on bath salts, and get into a fist fight with a crocodile with an alligator because it was cheating when you were playing checkers, and then all of a sudden the police show up, they might Baker act you and put you away. Next song is called Tuk Tuk, which is cool because it's a pretty unknown sample from the king of the Tuk Tuk sound, Roy Donk, who's very famous sort of like long time ago, like 50, 60 years ago, but kind of transforms it into like a more modern sound than the original Tuk Tuk music of Donk. Kind of high sounds and low bass, and it's a real club banger. It makes you want to dance. Smooth, feel like Nutella smooth, feel like Stella got my groove. Making references to Angela Bassett movies from 2000 and Nutella. I like Nutella so much, my wife is pregnant and that's one of the foods that she can eat. That she had to just tell me like 3 times, Skye, stop eating Nutella. I'm like, yeah, I know. I hear you. And then like 10 o'clock at night pops up. I got that spoon. I can't have just one. I need 2. I need an even amount of spoonfuls. And then she comes back, Skye, I really need to have this food. This is not just for me. It's for the baby. I know. And then I just eat more. But I've been really good. It's been 2 weeks and I have not snuck any of my wife's Nutella. So it's good. It's tough. Gucci socks with the damn Crocs. I'm probably going to have to get Crocs in the next couple of years. And then we get to Wake Up with Juice WRLD. This is, again, why I want to take issue with someone who just goes, oh, there's no growth. I don't know. This should be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this song? This is nuts. This is awesome. This is Juice WRLD, like, at his just most unhinged. He's not trying to talk to you about his feelings or about wanting to die. He's just goofing around with his friend. And listen, a lot of this is misogynist and goofy stuff, but it's just fun. It's just 2 young dudes having fun, rapping, being more and more outrageous. Me and my gun got a lot in common. We both got big cocks. Juice WRLD, where did you come from, right? I mean, of all the people that we've lost, I don't know if yeah, he is. I think Juice WRLD is the saddest because he just had so much skill and so much charisma and so much talent. And his death was so sad and so pointless. They're all sad and pointless, but it's just a lot of this great back and forth. And it's just, again, it's like, he's like the lone survivor. It's weird, right? We had this whole explosion. I was asleep. I wasn't paying attention to the SoundCloud movement. I'm not going to front. I wasn't sitting there like downloading, seeing what's coming up next. I wasn't trying to find, what's the name? What do they call themselves? The Raider Gang? I wasn't like, Raider Clan, what's coming up next? I wasn't paying attention to that stuff at all. I don't know. I wasn't doing this channel. I was just dead. I wasn't paying attention to stuff. But like, there's all this music and all this stuff happening. And it was like this great moment. And like, it's sort of convenient for us culturally that some of them have died because we don't have to think about them. And we can just say that was a moment and then all that happened. But Ski Mask remembers. Next up is Hulk. Blared out synth, low bass, more nerdy. Listen, this dude, maybe he does grow because he has this style where he's like, he changes up his flow. They kiss the feet like the damn Lemur King. He's making a reference to King Julian, which means, canonically, Ski Mask likes to move it. They copycat it. We had one CD in my car for like 2 years. It was the Madagascar soundtrack. So my family listened. And we'd always skip a couple of them. But like, we're talking, I like to move it. Chariots of Fire. What was that? What was the Earth, Wind, and Fire? Oh my God, there's some Earth, Wind, and Fire song on there too. Anyways, they copycat, tell the boys pick a lane, got peeled like a damn sugar cane. That's a very specific Caribbean reference. I'm a villain, mask off like Bane. We at the top like my name is Rogaine. Again, kind of go that kind of top idea. I like that. You a stain like a cup from codeine. And then he flow changes. It can get murderous, red rum reversing it. You've been courteous. I've been courteous. Beef never hurting us. Actually nourish us. That can be serious. His pockets are fat. It looked like it. Right? Like he's manages to switch up his flow in the middle of the thing. So, maybe he is doing more. Head rush. La 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 la. I don't listen when rappers use heavy metal guitars because they don't know how to do it at all, and it just sucks. Frozen One, cool kind of echoing synth arpeggios, nice jittery beat here. Another reference to Simba. 2 references to Simba because he's the chosen one. More of a Timon and Pumbaa guy, but Simba's alright. If they effing with me, no, not even kinda. We gonna shake some shit like coconut in a lime, huh? Nelson reference. Call up Scooby-Doo because I'm a monster, go and find him. Something like Zohan or Godzilla, I'm a tyrant. Listen. King of the similes. Lime and a coconut and call up Scooby-Doo? Are we really going to deprive ourselves of this great artist by saying it's not enough growth when he's giving us lyrics like call up Scooby-Doo? Killstreak. All right, I got to be honest. Maybe I'm a little bit tired of this album at this point. A lot of songs to get through. He talks about speedballing. Jesus Christ. What's he going to do? Play keyboard for the Grateful Dead? He Burrito, He Finito, Killstreak, Resident Evil, Feel Like I'm the Django. The D is silent in Django, as one of my children would tell you. From Yard, featuring Skilly Bang, more effort on this beat, cool 808 slides, and nice kind of reggae sounds. The funniest title on the album is Him Jong-un. It's just funny. Instead of Kim Jong-un, Him Jong-un? Ski Mask. Like when I think about like musicians, like who would I actually want to hang out with? I get the sense, would you rather have $100,000 or eat dinner with Jay-Z? I gotta be honest. I bet Jay-Z is not a super fun guy to talk to. I think he's a genius. I think he's the best rapper of all time, right? So I'm not saying that I wouldn't love to meet him. But realistically, he's probably just kind of taciturn, kind of up in his own head. I bet you could have a hell of a fun time talking to Ski Mask. It's straight sober too. Just talking about stuff. I love there's a little percussion on Him Jong-un where there's like this little percussion. It's like almost like a little wood bell. And it's on the 2 and in between the 3 and the 4. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, it's right here. It's nice. I serve the swag, I serve the bass. A little reference there to Future. About my green and shit like Bernie Sanders. Nice Bernie Green New Deal reference. Are you reading the New York Times? Let It Breathe is different style, a little more romantic, a little more introspective. It keeps on saying very cerebral, very cerebral. Tell me what you see. Man in the mirror, don't recognize me. Man in the mirror, don't give a fuck about we. Maybe there is some growth possible here. Maybe he will do it. And then again with the Simba. And then we get to The Mandalorian. Great title. Cool synths. Hunting rifle on me like the Mandalorian. I learned from my past like a damn historian. Finding Nemo, bitch. I'm in that water, Dorian. So I think that's a play on Dory. But then according to Genius, Hurricane Dorian was also, it affected Florida. So maybe that's it. Ain't got a 30 with the cheese. We call that a McGriddle. Again. It's okay if you don't like this. It's okay if you don't like this style. But you cannot deny me a McGriddle rap lyric. Y'all are excited about the McRib. That's trash. The McGriddle, that's good. I just ended up just quoting all these lyrics. I'm just going to stop. It's just so many fun lyrics in here. Pulled up in the Super Bowl in a soup bowl, no wontons? I don't know what that means. It's a bug life. These ends moving antsy. I'm about to kill like a plan B. Then we get to Jump, an unexpected cover of the Van Halen song. No, it's actually a cover of Busta Rhymes, basically. It sounds like a Neptune's beat. It sounds like the song Pastor Courvoisier. He quotes Pastor Courvoisier. He keeps on saying it's going to make you, but then he rarely actually says jump. True story. I remember when Pastor Courvoisier came out, and I thought Busta Rhymes had sold out. I thought, why is he working with Puff Daddy? I didn't like Puff Daddy back then. Like, what is this? Why doesn't he just try to sound more like Woo-Ha and Raw? Shibuya is the next song. Roll call. Starts off the New Year's countdown, kind of distorted sounds, more video game sounds in the back. It sounds sort of the most modern of its time. I think it's a good song. And then the last song is called No, because I'm not going to review it. I don't know. Fine. I'll talk about it for like 2 seconds. It sounds kind of Swedish, so that's kind of cool. Maybe all you drainers are going to like it. It's a little too soft for me. Just singing with auto-tune. The bass is nice. Corbin's fine. These are my Patreons. They help me to buy music. I don't know if I'm going to buy this album because, frankly, I don't know if you need 2 Ski Mask the Slump God albums. But also, Maya Weberin asked for a shout-out on this video, so she's going to get one. So there's me. There's my thoughts on Ski Mask the Slump God. I don't think many people are going to have watched this video, which is cool because I don't do this for the clicks. I do this for the watches. So if you are still watching, thank you. Please continue to watch my stuff when you can. I do appreciate it. Smash the like bucket, subscribe. If you say AVAA, I will always heart that comment. Okay? All right. Until next time, there's the camera. Man, I can go for a McGriddle.